Hey, Archie, I am so tired of failing my normal New Year's resolution, namely lose weight. Are there any good financial resolutions I could try?
Oh, there are a ton, and some of them you can get done on January 1st. I'm Archie Hoxton.
And I'm Rob Hoxton.
And this is Last Paycheck, weekly wisdom to help you retire and stay that way. Welcome back to the Last Paycheck Podcast, brought to you by Hoxton Planning and Management. We're your hosts, certified financial planning professionals, Archie Hoxton and Rob Hoxton. And today, we're coming up on New Year's at the recording of this episode. So we thought it's New Year's resolution time. Let's think of some ideas, financial ideas for New Year's resolutions if you're looking to make a change or kind of improve your financial situation. So
should be a short episode because I know with me with resolutions, it's the same one. I just pull it out every year and read it. It's like lose 30 pounds and that's it. So it's the same every year, but we're going to talk about financial resolutions.
Yeah. Because, and most of these are something that, as long as you can just kind of take a couple of actions, and it could be January 1st, take a couple of actions, you can hit your resolution for the whole year as long as you don't kind of unwind any of it.
Right, because some of them you can make a change and put it on autopilot.
Yeah, exactly.
And as long as you don't fiddle with it,
yep,
you get to put a check mark next to it.
Exactly. Some of them are a little more labor intensive, but in a lot of ways, really critical and not things that you have to do all the time. So the idea is, I think we can kind of start with sort of broad strokes. There's the first one that we thought of was saving more. And this can come in many different forms. So we all know that we need to save more. Most of us, maybe we need to start saving in the first place. Most of us could use a little bump to our savings rate. Even if it's really small, but I think that this is a kind of the one that everybody thinks of when it comes to New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I just love the parallels between this and over the holidays, we've all probably overspent a little bit because we want to do nice things for the people we love. And just like you may be feeling a pinch in your wallet, it's kind of like that pinch you feel in your belt because not only did you overspend over the holidays, you overate. We have these wonderful partners in our business who sent us a box of Mrs. Fields cookies, and they are awesome. But if you read the fine print, these little silver dollar size cookies have 200 calories on average in them. So we all need to, focus on our resolutions, whether they be diets or financial. I just can't get past the diet piece of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I know I have some winter pants that I'll break out if I'm really bad around Christmas that are, another size up.
And you have a smaller wallet that you can break out because you're a little bit broker after the holidays. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so saving more can be a great way to kind of a great New Year's resolution because in some cases, you can hit it on day one. I mean, it's like, for example, increase your 401k contributions. You go in there, you go to your 401k website and you talk to your payroll and you bump it. And maybe it's just 1%.
Yeah, it's just 1%.
Yeah.
Over a long period of time, that 1% can be a game changer.
Yeah. And if you maybe every year you set this as your New Year's resolution, so 2025, I'm going to bump it 1%. 2026, I'm going to bump it 1%. Plus, if you're getting raises each year, that amount that you're contributing goes up more and more, but you don't feel it. It's not like, I almost don't recommend, I mean, if you can, sure, but I almost don't recommend saying, all right, if you're contributing 5%, go to 20.
Yeah.
That's going to really hurt when you go to the grocery store and you see your bank balance and you're like, ooh, that paycheck was a lot smaller than it normally is.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps.
And somebody's going to make a comment on this show and they're going to say, but if you do 1% every year, at some point, you're not going to have a paycheck left. And it's true, but you have to live to be over 100, right? In order to make that happen.
Right, right. And most people will probably hit the maximum amount that you can contribute to a 401k anyway before you burn up your whole paycheck. So yeah, I mean, be smart about it. The idea is, hey, let's just bump it a little bit in a manageable way. So you have a New Year's resolution that you hit pretty easily, and maybe even on day one. And then your whole year is set and you can just kick back.
You could do the same thing with other types of savings, right? Like number 2 resolution might be to see if you qualify for Roth contributions. And if you do, start making Roth contributions and put that baby on autopilot as well. Have it come directly out of your savings or checking account, go into your investment account, have the investment account set up as an automatic, like a investment builder or wealth builder, where it buys your investment every time you make a deposit. Set it and forget it. And at the end of the year, you're going to have a statement. You're going to think, wow, this is really amazing. I met this resolution. And it only takes one act early in the year, and then you can forget about it.
Might take you at most 30 minutes to get it all set up. I mean, it and these institutions have people who you can give them a call and they'll help you set it up. But it can have a huge impact.
If you have a financial planner and they're not pushing you to do this, pick up the phone and call them, send them an email and say, hey, set up a Roth IRA for me. I want to start doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one, and this only applies if you qualify, but would be an HSA, a health savings account. You have to have a high deductible healthcare plan. It has to be a qualifying high deductible healthcare plan. But this is such a powerful account. It's tax-free dollars on the way in, tax-free growth, and tax-free if you spend it on medical expenses. And if you let this and treat this as another retirement account, the compounding over time and the growth, and then having this huge account by the time you retire dedicated to healthcare spending, which is a huge expense in retirement, you're setting yourself up for success and peace of mind.
Yeah, it's the only triple tax-free account that you can have.
Yeah.
If you're trying to choose between maximizing your 401k and putting some in an HSA, make sure you do some HSA contributions for sure.
We have it available. Absolutely. And then another one, that I like is a lot of companies, financial institutions now offer roundup contributions where they round up your transactions to the nearest dollar. And then once a week or once a month, they'll pull that amount automatically. It's a small amount and, it's very manageable, and you could set it up so that you almost don't even notice it. And it takes a long time for that thing to work because it's small contributions. But again, it's baby step.
I love it. I love it because you can you can set this up while you're still, early in the year when you set that resolution, you've got a lot of energy to get it done.
Yeah.
It's later in the year where you start to forget about it, or you're like preoccupied, or, that's where it gets tough. If you can get yourself set up for success early in the year when you really have that initiative, then it's going to be great. And all of these 3 scenarios that we've just given, once it's set up, completely frictionless.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
No action on your part.
I think that's one of the important things, is kind of making it, not relying on discipline.
Yep.
You have to be disciplined once. And then for the rest of your career, really, it's just autopilot. So let's talk about another New Year's resolution that maybe is a little bit more labor intensive, but is really, really important. And that's reviewing your insurance. And this one's kind of boring, right? But it's so important, right? Understanding your coverage and having a way to decide whether it's actually adequate. And we're talking about, it could be your property and casualty, your homeowners, your auto, but also life insurance.
Disability insurance. Long-term care insurance. Yeah. And as soon as you ask an insurance agent to review your insurance, just know that you've probably just made their week, because they're gonna see that as a sales opportunity. So you have to make sure that you've got an insurance agent or advisor that you have confidence in that will make recommendations that are truly in your best interest, not primarily in their own. But making sure you're adequately covered is so important. And we've seen it over the years in our practice. It doesn't happen very often, but almost once a year we'll have a situation with a client where they're just really glad that they had the appropriate amount of insurance. So
Right.
don't let February get here without having reviewed your insurance coverages.
Right? Because there are risks, whether it's through life insurance or disability insurance. The risks that you're taking off the table with that are risks that can derail your retirement plan entirely. Risks that could, with life insurance, if you don't have adequate coverage and you leave your spouse and children with a mortgage and half or no income, that can be devastating financially.
That can alter the course, the trajectory of not only your spouse, but most especially your children.
Yeah. So making sure that and term life insurance, is generally, if you're below a certain age, if you're at the point of planning and projecting out for retirement, it can be pretty inexpensive. It can be a little labor intensive to get. So that's the next step, is once you do the review, right, it's important to follow through. And so that's where the labor comes in, but it's really, really important. And if you think through the risks and get a little bit of healthy fear about it, that'll give you some peace of mind.
So if we're talking about life insurance and what happens if somebody dies prematurely, let's talk about the other piece of this, which is getting your affairs in order. That's an important resolution to, again, don't let February get here without doing something about this, but make sure that your affairs are in order so that if something should happen to you, what happens next for your loved ones is acceptable to you.
Yeah. So that might mean, and it depends on your situation. We're not providing legal advice here, but it definitely means if you have no estate plan, meaning you've never had a will or any kind of power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, those kinds of documents, or at least spoken to an attorney about whether or not you need them and which ones you would need, look into that. Have a consultation.
Everybody has an estate plan. It's either the one that you devise or it's the one that the state foists on you. And that nobody wants to be at the mercy of the state.
Right.
So get yourself to an estate planning attorney and get that worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. And
if you don't know one, talk to your financial advisor. They'll refer you to one. We have some really great ones in our area that we work with a lot.
Yeah. So, and it's important to make sure that also if something happens to you or to a loved one that and they're medically indisposed, that they have the ability to advocate for them in a real way with some teeth, or they know what you would want if you were ever in a situation like that. You've laid out instructions for them, so they don't have to make hard decisions guessing about something that maybe you've never talked about with before. I think that's a really important and overlooked part of estate planning. Another really important one, review your investments and maybe rebalance them.
Especially your 401k. So many people just don't actually spend much time looking at that, aside from whether it's going up or down in value.
Right. You look at the main balance, and if it's up, you feel good. If it's down, you feel bad. But it's really important to know what is making that number change. What do you actually own? How is your 401k or other investment, how are they allocated?
If you have a strategy for that, every once in a while, you need to rebalance the portfolio to get back to that allocation. That's one of the important ways that you mitigate risk in a portfolio.
Yeah.
So make sure you do that every once in a while. Once a year is typically enough.
Yeah.
But make sure that you're looking at that at least once a year. And if you can, And many 401k investment providers will allow you to do this, is to click a little button that says, I want to rebalance my portfolio automatically. You can do that.
Yeah. And again, autopilot. And, you hit the resolution in the first week of the year, and then you'll hit that same resolution every year ongoing for the rest of your career, as long as you're a participant. So, I think that's just about all the time we've got. But pick one of them, pick all of them. Most of these are things that can have a huge impact over your career and that can get done on the first day of the year. Some of them might take a few weeks and some extra work and some cost, but will be worth it.
Yeah, just resolve to make a difference for yourself, for the future self that you will someday be, that older person who doesn't want to work anymore. Make sure you make these resolutions come true, and you'll be glad you did.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we hope you enjoyed this. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and also leave us a comment with your thoughts or questions. We often get episode ideas right from people who listen to the show. So, and then share it with your family and friends. But anyway, we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
You've been watching Last Paycheck, weekly wisdom to help you retire and stay that way. If you like this show, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Last Paycheck is available anywhere you get your podcasts.